Rapi crouched low, her heart pounding against her ribcage like a prisoner trying to escape its cell. She was a soldier in the throes of despair, infiltrating a human settlement that had betrayed the very essence of humanity, collaborators with the brutal rapture machines. The settlement, surrounded by an unkempt forest, seemed deceptively peaceful, its faded cottages emanating an inviting glow from the dimly lit windows, a flickering promise of warmth. Little did she know, this idyllic facade concealed grotesque horrors beneath its surface. Rapi was often seen as an enigma among the NIKKE. Her pale skin contrasted sharply against the bleak background of war, an island of lost innocence no longer hers to claim. As she walked through the settlement wearing the guise of a civilian, her piercing eyes scanned every shadow for the potential threat she now found herself amidst. In this town, the air was thick with a seemingly contagious sense of security, but it made Rapi's skin crawl. The townspeople strutted around like they were part of some sinister theater production. Forced smiles plastered across their faces, eyes devoid of genuine emotion. At the heart of this madness was the town's leader, a man named Hawk, with a broad frame that bore the weight of his position, his dark beard grizzled and stained with the soot of some unholy pact. Hawk had once been a soldier, but the intensity of battles had been extinguished by the allure of safety at any cost. He had chosen to sacrifice not just the integrity of humanity, but to tighten his grip on power by consorting with the machines. Behind the scenes, he orchestrated the trade of innocent outsiders to the rapture. Rapi shuddered at the thought. He could turn any semblance of humanity into a grotesque puppet for his desires. Through her infiltration, Rapi was pulled into the orbit of a young girl named Lily. Lily was a beacon of light amidst the looming darkness. With her sandy blonde hair and infectious laughter, she often seemed out of place in this village of shadows. However, under the tender imperfection of her childhood innocence, Lily hid a tragic backstory. Abandoned by her own parents in the chaos of war, she had been taken in by the settlement. Yet, her acceptance once blossomed into numb acceptance of the cruel reality. Fate had twisted her smile, turning innocence into collateral damage and a life of unspeakable horror in survival. Lily had witnessed firsthand the unsettling truth that lay beyond the town's seemingly perfect facade. The village, with its quaint cottages and manicured gardens, was a mirage, a beautiful lie masking a sinister reality. Outsiders vanished into the night, their absence explained away with whispers and half-truths. But Lily, with her keen eyes and curious nature, had seen the truth. She had seen the townspeople's furtive glances, heard the hushed conversations about the rapture machines, and felt the undercurrent of fear that ran through the village like a poison. Each night, as the stars twinkled above, Rapi and Lily would sit together, sharing stories under the darkened sky. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day, a beacon of hope amidst the dread and grief that surrounded them. Rapi, ever the protector, felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility for Lily. The young girl's innocence was a fragile thing, and Rapi was determined to shield her from the harsh realities of their world. "Lily, you know you can talk to me about anything, right?" Rapi said one evening, her voice soft but firm. Lily nodded, her eyes wide and earnest. "I know, Rapi. I don't understand why people have to disappear." Rapi took a deep breath, her heart aching for the girl beside her. "Sometimes, people make choices that hurt others because they're scared. They think it's the only way to survive." "But that's not right," Lily protested, her voice trembling with emotion. "We should help each other, not hurt each other." Rapi smiled, a bittersweet expression that didn't quite reach her eyes. "You're right, Lily, we should, and that's why I'm here, to try and make things right." But as the days passed, the weight of secrecy began to take its toll on Rapi. She could feel the shards of anxiety pressing against her conscience, each one a reminder of the truth she was hiding from Lily. The calm before the storm was deceptive, and Rapi knew it wouldn't last. The turning point came one fateful night when Rapi stumbled upon a horrific ritual. The leaders of the settlement, their faces twisted with power and greed, were preparing to hand over a group of captives to the rapture machines. The sight was grotesque, a macabre dance of betrayal and fear, with the captives bound and terrified, their eyes pleading for mercy. Rapi's heart raced, the blood pounding in her ears as she sprinted through the knotted alleys of the village. Her breath echoed in the silence, each gasp a funeral dirge for the innocents lost. She knew she had to act, irrespective of the consequences that awaited her. "Lily, I need you to listen to me very carefully," Rapi said, her voice urgent as she found the young girl hiding in the shadows. Lily looked up, her eyes filled with confusion and fear. "What's happening, Rapi? Why are they doing this?" Rapi knelt down, taking Lily's hands in her own. "The leaders have made a terrible choice, Lily. They're giving people to the machines to keep themselves safe." Lily's eyes widened, tears brimming as the truth sank in. "But that's horrible." "I know," Rapi said, her voice breaking. "And that's why we have to stop them. I can't do it alone, Lily. I need your help." Lily nodded, determination hardening her features. "I'll help you, Rapi. Whatever it takes." Together, they devised a plan to free the captives and expose the leaders' treachery. As they moved through the village, the tension in the air was palpable, a living thing that clung to their skin and whispered of danger. The night of the rescue, Rapi and Lily moved like shadows, their footsteps silent on the cobblestones. But as they reached the captives, the alarm blared, shattering the stillness and plunging the village into chaos. "Traitor!" the town leader shouted, his voice dripping with venom as he pointed an accusatory finger at Rapi. Rapi stood her ground, her heart pounding with fear and defiance. "You're the traitors," she shot back, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "You've betrayed everything this village stands for." The leader sneered, his eyes cold and calculating. "We do what we must to survive. You would doom us all with your misguided morality." As the townspeople closed in, Rapi felt a surge of panic. But then, out of the corner of her eye, she saw Lily step forward, her small frame unyielding in the face of danger. "Stop! Leave her alone!" Lily cried, her voice ringing out like a clarion call. "Lily, no! Get back!" Rapi pleaded, but the young girl stood firm, her courage a beacon in the darkness. As the alarm blared through the village, Rapi and Lily found themselves surrounded by chaos. The townspeople, once passive in their complicity, now turned into a mob, driven by fear and anger. Rapi knew they had to act quickly if they were to escape the clutches of both the villagers and the approaching rapture machines. "Lily, stay close to me," Rapi instructed, her voice firm despite the turmoil inside her. She scanned the area, her mind racing to find a way out. Lily nodded, her small hand gripping Rapi's tightly. "What do we do, Rapi?" Rapi took a deep breath, her eyes darting to the shadows where a few dissenters, those who had quietly opposed the town's dark pact, were waiting. "We head for the tunnels. Remember the path we talked about?" "Yes," Lily replied, her voice trembling but determined. With the dissenters' help, they made their way through the narrow alleyways, dodging the villagers who were too focused on the chaos to notice them slipping away. The entrance to the tunnels was hidden beneath a dilapidated shed at the edge of the village. It was a place long forgotten, overgrown with weeds and shrouded in darkness. "Here," Rapi whispered, pulling back the rotting wooden door to reveal a narrow staircase descending into the earth. "This is our way out." The group hurried down the steps, the air growing cooler and damper as they descended. The tunnels were a labyrinth of twisting passages, carved out long ago for reasons lost to time. Rapi led the way, her senses heightened as she listened for the telltale hum of the machines above. As they moved deeper into the tunnels, the sounds of pursuit faded, replaced by the steady drip of water and the echo of their footsteps. The darkness was oppressive, but Rapi's resolve burned bright. She knew they had to keep moving, to reach the other side before the machines caught up with them. "Lily, are you okay?" Rapi asked, glancing back at the young girl who was keeping pace despite the fear etched on her face. "I'm okay," Lily replied, her voice small but steady. "I'm with you." Rapi smiled, a flicker of warmth amidst the cold reality. "You're doing great, just a little further." The group pressed on, the tunnels twisting and turning in seemingly endless loops. Rapi's mind raced with memories of the village, of the betrayal and the darkness that had taken root there. But she pushed those thoughts aside, focusing instead on the task at hand. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they reached a point where the tunnel began to slope upward. The air grew fresher, a hint of dawn's light filtering through the cracks in the earth above. "We're almost there," Rapi said, her voice filled with relief. As they emerged from the tunnels into the wilderness beyond, the first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of blood and fire. The world felt new and raw, untouched by the horrors they had left behind. "What now?" one of the dissenters asked, his voice filled with a mixture of exhaustion and hope. Rapi looked around at the group, her heart swelling with a sense of purpose. "We keep moving. The machines won't be far behind, but we've bought ourselves some time." Lily stood beside her, her eyes reflecting the fiery sky. "We did it, Rapi. We got out." Rapi nodded, her heart heavy with the knowledge of what they had lost, but also what they had gained. "Yes, we did. And now we have to make sure it was worth it." With renewed determination, they set off into the wilderness, leaving the village and its dark secrets behind. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and challenges, but they faced it together, united by their shared struggle and the hope of a better future. For days, they trekked through unforgiving terrain, the constant threat of discovery looming over them. Lily's presence was both a comfort and a source of anxiety for Rapi. Her courage was a flame that refused to be extinguished, even in the face of overwhelming odds. "Why did you help me?" Rapi asked one night as they huddled around a small fire, the warmth a temporary reprieve from the cold. Lily's eyes shimmered in the firelight. "Because you were trying to do the right thing. That's what matters, isn't it?" Rapi felt her throat tighten, her heart aching with a mixture of pride and sorrow. Sometimes doing the right thing comes at a terrible cost. As if summoned by her words, the air suddenly filled with the ominous hum of approaching machines. Panic spread through the group like wildfire. "Everyone, stay calm!" Rapi shouted, her mind racing for a plan. But the machines were upon them, their metallic forms gleaming in the moonlight. Rapi fought with every ounce of her strength, but she knew it wasn't enough. Then, in a moment that would be seared into her memory forever, Lily stepped forward. "Lily, no!" Rapi screamed, but it was too late. The young girl looked back, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and determination. "Run, Rapi! Save them!" Before anyone could stop her, Lily threw herself at the machines, her small body a living distraction. I watched in horror as the machines tore into Lily, her screams piercing the night air. Every fiber of my being wanted to rush to her aid, but I knew her sacrifice would be in vain if I didn't act. "Move! Now!" I yelled, pushing the stunned captives into motion. As we fled, Lily's screams faded, replaced by the sickening sound of metal tearing flesh. The image of her brave, broken body would haunt my dreams for years to come. Days later, as the sun rose on a new horizon, I stood alone, the weight of survival heavy on my shoulders. The captives had dispersed, seeking new lives far from the machines and the corrupt settlement. "I'll make this right, Lily," I whispered to the wind. "Your sacrifice won't be forgotten." With renewed determination, I set my sights on the battles ahead. The war against the machines was far from over, And now I had a new enemy to fight, the darkness within humanity itself. As I walked toward an uncertain future, I carried with me the memory of a brave young girl and the knowledge that in a world of shadows, even the smallest light could make a difference.